We have 8 end statements, and there's one overarching end, and that's that because of the Merc Co-op, there'll be a reliable source of healthy, local, and organic food and products available at reasonable cost.
The Merc is celebrating its 37th year in existence right now. We started as a small buyers cooperative in someone's basement.
They would be buying wheels of cheese and all getting together and cutting it up and sharing the labor and sharing the time that goes into cutting up the cheese.
Before I started working here, I used to consider myself kind of a health-conscious person, but working in a place like this, you get educated whether you like it or not, and sometimes there are things that I've done before I started working here that I can't really make myself do now. Like, I don't buy bottled water, I try to recycle.
I've been shopping here for 17 years, and I really can't imagine shopping anywhere else. I love organic, natural food. I love the people here. It's really more than a grocery store. It's more like a community.
Co-op is, it's a cooperatively owned business that's owned by members, generally members of a community that have similar interests. So in our case, we started out with just a few owners. We've grown to 6,000 owners now.
As of 2011, I believe we put roughly $3 million back into the local economy. I think the last year, 12 million plus gross in sales, which is quite a bit. This company's gone from being very small to a company that really has to take into account all the factors of life in a growing community.
It's a lot quicker, a lot easier to grow something that has lots of pesticides and herbicides sprayed on it, but then you don't factor in the environmental cost of cleaning that up, or the dead zones that go in the Gulf of Mexico, and all the problems that are associated with that. So organic food costs way more up front. There's no doubt about that. But this is what it takes to support the real cost of food.
We've shopped at the Merc for over 25 years, my wife and myself. We enjoy this very much, from the selection of good things and variety of foods that they offer, plus the good people that work here.
There will be an organization that exemplifies environmental, economic, and social sustainability. Last year we did a one-day waste audit. We found out that about 38% of everything that goes out the door gets composted, about 40% gets recycled. So we have, about 3/4 of everything that gets thrown out of the store here is compost or recycled, so that's pretty exciting. But we're trying to get that number up to about 95% by the year 2020. Last year we got rid of plastic bags at the store, which was kind of a big deal. We're switching over to these natural fiber meat trays, so we got rid of our styrofoam trays, which we go through a ton of. And these are completely compostable, and they're not made out of paper or anything like that. It's completely natural fiber, so it's kind of a neat little thing.
So styrofoam is no longer going to be found in the meat and seafood department, at least in this capacity. Styrofoam's come a long ways in the last 5 years. A lot of styrofoam is now designated number 6 plastic and can be recycled, but it's kind of nasty to make and it doesn't break down.
So sustainable packaging is really where we're trying to head in the future. That's where most of our waste comes from right now. We are getting ready to do LED lighting in the entire store. That's a big savings on energy costs right there. But yeah, there will be social and economic networks that encourage community and a sense of connection to others.
We have an education outreach department which does a really great job of educating both internally and in the community, and just putting our name out there and what we do, and it brings a lot of folks into the store that may have preconceived notions about us or may have not heard of us at all.
There's a project, the Education Outreach Department started a garden at West Junior High, which is a couple blocks from the Merc here. We hired students, they're Merc employees, they can come here and get the same discounts, but they work at the school gardens, weeding, planting, sowing, selling things at the farmers markets, and they also were able to get it so that they could use the food from the garden in the cafeteria, which is a pretty big deal. The kids get fresh food that they grew with their own hands right in their own backyard.
The way I would summarize it is that it makes me feel like I'm in touch with the goodness that our planet was intended to provide for us.